Floor's entire body is rotating. No, this is horrible. This is horrible. What is happening? This glitch is... I don't like it. What could be cuter than having your child bisected by the legs of the person delivering them?
Hello from the void, it's Rose. Welcome back to my channel and to my Not So Buried challenge. Guess what? I did have COVID, but I'm feeling much better now. Finally tested negative today. But yeah, super grateful to be vaccinated. I have crappy lungs and I didn't have any problems with that at all, which I am thanking modern medicine for. But you're not here to hear me talk about my COVID. You are here to check in with my chaotic Sims, I assume. Last episode I got completely walloped by my own wish for chaos, and another baby is on the way. In this episode we're going to meet that child and also see our baby macaroni age up to a child. Let's get to it.
It's Saturday morning, just about. It's almost noon actually, and we are just getting out of bed because the Spectras have a horrifying sleep schedule. Carmine was up until about 3 AM, Mack was up between about 2 and 6, so they are just about getting up and going, and Mack is in the worst of moods. I have added Floor to the household despite the fact it's not a weekday because it is Mack's birthday today and we need a cake, and I don't think Carmine is willing or able to make that, so we are going to rely on Grandma and, take advantage of our time with her. I realised we hadn't actually seen Marigold in a while, and she's meant to be Carmine's OG friend. I've invited her over, but Mack is having an absolute strop about being hungry while standing right next to his bowl of mac and cheese. Dude, it's by your foot, pick it up and eat it. Yes, we could get you a high chair, but those things are glitchy and I'm not about that life. Hey Marigold, good to see you. She's just walked in and she's faced with a grumpy toddler, hey, where are the adults? Are they not around? And he's like, fine, leave me, everybody else does. Anyway, I guess she doesn't actually know that Carmine is pregnant again, so that'll be a fun surprise for her. Carmine's telling her the big news right now, and Marigold's like, oh wow, are you sure this is a good idea? I mean, I guess it's a bit late to change your mind now. I feel like Marigold would be like, how are you going to handle that then? I mean, I know your mum's been doing a lot, but when you've got two, are you going to take some time off work? And Carmine's like, nah, no, everything's fine. I think everything's under control, right, Mum? And Floor's like, control is a strong word. I mean, do you know anything about your child? We've got a random woman choking to death on pollution at our front door, but we do need some more votes, so we might invite her in anyway. Completely normal behaviour. Like, yes, please come hang out with pregnant me, my mum, my friend, and my toddler who I basically ignore on this lovely polluted Saturday. Tell me about your meats and cheeses. To be fair, if she's a snob, Carmine will like her, because Carmine is a snob, which is, I feel, something I've a little bit underplayed. Possibly because I just haven't had the money to really lean into her snob ways, but she's literally thinking about piles of money. I guess I do have a little bit of cash. Maybe I could tart things up a bit around here. I realised I don't know what Marigold's been up to since uni, so I asked her what she was doing and found out she was unemployed, so I finally get to use the encouraged to pursue dream job interaction. We'll see what she picks up. I think they're supposed to be singing about the flower festival, but they're singing Auld Lang Syne and Jingle Bells because apparently those are the only songs that exist in the game. I mean, to be fair, Easter hymns broadly kind of a bummer, but the harvest hymns, they could have those. Those are all absolute bops. Aw, gonna get Marigold to have a feel of our enormous bum. It better not be twins. If it's twins, I'm quitting my game and never reopening it. I realised I hadn't voted yet on the neighbourhood action plans for this week, so I'm going to throw my full weight behind green initiatives for Port Promise because I would like it to be less polluted for the good of future generations and current generations, including myself. I would like people to be able to go outside without choking to death on pollution, ideally. Oh, we're getting a little cuddle from Marigold whilst our toddler walks through walls. That's not concerning at all. I had noticed that Carmine kept getting little heart thoughts whilst chatting with Marigold, so I did make her do a little scan the room because it's been a while since we've done that and we do need to have some more boyfriends and girlfriends. And yeah, see, she does think Marigold is cute. Now, in my mind, Marigold is someone on the ace spectrum, so a relationship with her is not the kind that Carmine is used to, but maybe that's not going to happen because she just wants to scare Carmine, and Carmine's like, no. Although she's giving her a flower. Aww. Marigold, what do you say? Nah. Yeah, Marigold is very not interested in what Carmine is selling at the moment. I mean, she's in a relationship and pregnant by Genesis. She is still quite romantically involved with Oriel, although they haven't seen each other for a while. She has several other active romantic interests. I can understand why Marigold would want nothing to do with her. Romantically, at least. Little Mack is outside hunting for some eggs and having a little bit of a meltdown. He's super sad about Curtis dying, which makes me really worried for when Floor goes because they're actually really good friends and he met Curtis like twice, so Yeah, we're stuffed, basically. He doesn't have the best emotional control, which I kind of like for his character. And, oh dear, something's not... Oh, ugh. Floor's entire body is rotating. No, this is horrible. This is horrible, what is happening? This glitch is... I don't like it. I mean, it's quite funny, but I hate it. Ew, make it stop. Okay, I'm gonna reset you. I'm gonna reset you and have you go make a cake. No one wants to see that. I've just realised that Floor's earlier attempt to make sugar cookies didn't work, possibly because the kitchen has glitched out. Please do not glitch out whilst we're making a cake. Oh, for goodness sake. We're having the, hey, can't resume cooking on corner units moment. So I'm going to use this as an excuse to actually redo the kitchen a little bit. As I said before, I'm going for modernist hippie kind of vibe. So we're going to go for a little range cooker with our eco sink, some indoor plants, an old worldy fridge. And that does seem to have done the trick. We can finish our cake. We had Floor make a burger cake because it's the closest they have to yellow. And it's time for Macaroni's birthday. Blow out your candles, little boy. Really sorry if you can hear noise in the background. There's a massive storm in the UK and it's currently hailing. Anyway, our yellow generation is about to hit... Well, the planned part of our yellow generation is about to hit childhood. Spin round, get long, little long boy, and he's aged up. We only got level 1 mental, which isn't quite what I would have wanted, but hey. And so we get to give him the first of the not-so-berry yellow traits, which will be loner. I'm going to give him the mental aspiration because that seems the best fit with his future spacefaring plans. And let's pop in Cass and give him a little makeover. So I'm just going to quickly pop over to Carmine and check what the main skin details she has are, because the different overlays change the face shape a little bit. I'd like to check Oriole too, but I can't. So I think he is going to have the Kaluna skin blend and then also the little like eye and nose mask that I tend to use to give a little bit of dimension to the middle of their face. There we go. Yeah, there's a bit more family resemblance. We've got to get his freckles on. They show up a little bit less well on his skin at the moment. I have been thinking about darkening his skin tone because I think he automatically has the same one as both Floor and Carmine, which is actually an orange tone from, I think, Noodle's sorbet palette. But obviously, Oriole had very dark skin, so I wonder if I tone him slightly darker just to be a better blend of his parents. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I know the game genetics are like pretty horrible for skin inheritance, and it suddenly occurred to me that he's like a bit lighter than maybe he would be. Now watch me struggling to find a hair that I like. I downloaded some really cute, like slightly more alpha-y, afro textured hair, but they didn't really come in a yellow swatch. So I've gone for this one, which reminds me of Troffier pasta, which I like. So that's what I'm going for. I want his look to be, no one's paying that much attention to what I wear, and also I have space boots on. So I don't want him to be like particularly well dressed or particularly badly dressed, just sort of like a kid who doesn't really pay attention to fashion and is, you know, a bit of a geek, a bit of a loner. So he just does his own thing, and his family's not particularly fashion conscious, so that's what he's doing. Just going through and redoing his hair colour, hoping he keeps it on, because notoriously kids be changing their colours. And oh, he's started just doing his homework autonomously on a Saturday. That is kind of tragic, but perfect for the character he needs to be. So Oriole's turned up at the front door, which is unexpected. In my head, he lives out of town and travels around a lot. He's at like Burning Man and underground raves in Europe and writing psychological studies of very specific party cultures. And then he like pops up and does like the fun uncle thing with Mack. He's like taking him to like a fun thing for a weekend and vanishing again instead of being like the dad. And also hitting on Carmine, because the two of them do have really good chemistry. And maybe I'll ask Carmine to make him a boyfriend, because I could use I need, I think, 4 more. Anyway, as he's here, let's see what he says. I mean, he is the father of our child, so it doesn't seem super inappropriate, and I'm sure Genesis won't mind. I mean, maybe we should check with her first, but hey, we've done it now, and look how cute he is. Look at his little pink little flirty cheeks. Anyway, that's Oriole. He's in the house. As he's made the effort to come around, we might as well give him what he came here for, which is, you know, some Floor and maybe a quick interview with his son. Or maybe not the latter. So poor little Mack is about to become victim of Crimson's endless pranking of the toilet. This is why I don't ever invite Crimson over. He brings himself round often enough that we see him, just constantly pranks the toilet, and it breaks every single time. Something we have to do for the yellow generation is actually max out handiness, and potentially the fact that Max spends his entire life waiting for Carmine to fix things, which she has an active dislike of handiness. But in this instance, she doesn't really have an option because she already peed herself once as a result of the loo being broken. So yeah, she has to do it. But maybe he's like, well, if I'm going to live in this house with my mum, then if I could fix things, my life would be better. So maybe I'm gonna like learn how to do that. And now the shower's broken too. Great. This morning is just going brilliantly. Carmine has peed herself, had to fix the toilet. She's gonna have to fix the shower. She needs to clean the toilet. Like, she's not a happy bunny. She's also gonna give birth, I think, at some point today. So yeah, this is a heavy morning. This is potentially a moment at which she's like, how am I gonna do it with 2 kids? Like, I don't think I can do it on my own. I don't think even with my mum coming over I can do this on my own. I need someone else right now to clean the toilet or to fix the shower or just do some of the things that need doing. And maybe she's thinking about, well, could Genesis move in? Now, at this stage, I would just like to add, I did double check the rules, and for the Rose generation, I can't get married until I am an elder, but I can move someone in. So I think that is potentially what we're going to do. And then there's a few different ways that could unpack with Mack not making friends with the person that moves in, or indeed his younger sibling. Anyway, more on that later. For now, we're having some squash soup for breakfast. Not the one for me, thank you. Carmine should almost be finished with that shower, and possibly fueled by the rage of having to do this because she can't afford a repair, I'm actually going to have her call up her work and be like, I deserve a bonus. I should be able to have something repaired when it breaks. I'm a very important member of this team. Give me a raise. And they did. We got a little bonus, and then we're also going to get a higher hourly rate. So that's something. And we're doing a bit of cleaning up. Are we? We're carrying an invisible plate around. I know you're just going to put it back on the table. That's gross. Flor has invited Mack to the park, so we'll take Carmine with us. And when she's picked the worst park, I mean, even arguably worse than the one in Strangerville. This is the one in Del Sol Valley that's by the Walk of Fame. Mo is here. So having ditched the others to play some chess as part of Mack's child aspiration, we are going to go and see if we can't convince our mum's ex to give us her vote. She's like, just don't make me hang out with your mother and I'll do pretty much anything. Carmine is finally wearing her cute little hot weather outfit, which I wasn't anticipating she'd wear while heavily pregnant, but actually she looks really cute in it. And yeah, Mo is down to support our policies, which is good. Mack is very uncomfortable. He is obviously a loner and he is at a public park surrounded by strangers, and his mum is drawing an awful lot of attention to herself, which is really not an ideal situation. Flor is, I think, checking out the Walk of Fame stars, but yeah, Mack's like, can we please go? Mum's so loud, everyone's looking at us. I just want to read up on how to build thrusters for my rocket in the future. And Flor's like, what was that? Sorry, I was just looking at Robert Downey Jr.'s star on the Walk of Fame. I don't know why. I feel like she would be a Robert Downey Jr. fan for some reason. Mack is unhappy. Flor's done with her protest, but she's just jumped straight on the phone to someone else, and Flor's like, yeah, we need to go, babe. Come on. Come on. Carmine, why don't you go over and check in on the boy? He appears to be dissociating and just aggressively reading Driving to Mars, which possibly is the only book we own at the moment, so we should check into that. But yeah, he's definitely like, and then when I'm on Mars, I won't have to deal with strangers, and my mum won't have a megaphone and be being super embarrassing and pregnant, and I wouldn't be here in the Del Sol Valley, which is the worst. And after a long period of standing just awkwardly next to him, Carmine is like, okay, let go. Back home, Genesis is over, and Mack is yelling at her, and she's kind of yelling back. I mean, I feel like Mack kind of has a point. Genesis has been in Carmine's life for as long as Mack has, longer in fact, and she's made not really any effort to build a relationship with him. And yeah, he's been a toddler and Flor's very much been his one and only, but she could have gone and interacted with him when he was crying, or, you know, tried to help him out, or just really, but she's very much Carmine's booty call, and the fact that they're now having a kid together is kind of crazy. And yeah, Mack is not responding well, but Genesis also is not responding well. They're just yelling at each other about trash bags, heart print boxer shorts. Yeah, probably best we bring that conversation to a standstill. Carmine, if you come out, are you gonna maybe tell Genesis off for yelling at your son because he's having a tough time right now? And he's like, yeah, Mom, what are you gonna do? And she's like, I'm just gonna go pee, actually. I can't handle this right now. I'm about to have another baby. Oh no, she is. She's having a little word. Minus hearts. I mean, this is not the greatest conversation to be having when you're on the brink of giving birth, and we were thinking about maybe having her move in, but, you know, on brand. Come on, Genesis, you can do it. Clean up those plates. Don't just stare at them. Clean them. For God's sake, somebody clean those plates. They've been hanging around for days. Or just make more plates dirty. You know, that's also fine. I mean, that is very much my approach. Genesis is potentially trying to repair things a little bit, appealing to Carmine's snob side, walking through her pregnant body, and Carmine's feeling pretty sleepy, so maybe you should just go to bed. But first, an animated reenaction of the birth process, potentially to try and prepare Genesis for the horrendousness that will be entailed. This assuming that we even get her to come to the hospital, because I'm pretty sure that's glitched for me. Mack I bought him a chess table because that's part of his aspiration, and put it on the roof because that's a safe place to put toys for children, in the smog on the roof, but he seems to have got bored and is taking down to eat some of Floor's leftovers. Floor keeps the fridge pretty well stocked, which is probably for the best because otherwise they would both be wildly malnourished. I do think potentially the cooking skill is a little bit too easy to master in The Sims because Floor wasn't particularly a cook, but she mastered level 10 cooking, I think midway through having her kids, just from cooking enough to keep them alive. And I guess maybe I could do more light meals. I really like this outfit, but I can't really use it very often because it's the same pants as Genesis has. But look, it's so cute, even if she's absurdly pregnant. Carmine has gone back to bed. Let's appreciate Mack montage. So we are starting out with some aggressive paint throwing, again on the roof. I forgot I bought that planter. And now, you know, some reading. We bought him a sci-fi novel that felt appropriate, so he can expand on his dreams of going towards space with his fun little go-go boots on. What now, little buddy? Oh, trip to the toilet. Very exciting. God, your life is exciting. I really wish there were more activities for kids, but there aren't, so we do what we can. And Genesis left, but then she's come back over, and she's just got straight in our bed and she's crying. Clearly she is aware that not all is well in their relationship and that the blessed arrival of their child may not be a joyous event. It may actually be quite difficult for them. I very much imagine them as the kind of people that haven't had a single sane conversation about what they're going to do with this kid. So they haven't decided where they're going to live, they haven't decided who's going to stay home, if anyone's going to stay home, they haven't decided who's paying for what, and now it's the 11th hour, the baby is due any moment now, and they're suddenly realising that maybe they're not prepared at all because I think Carmine's just sort of been like, well, I've got one, what's two? It's basically the same, isn't it? And Genesis is like, oh my god, I'm going to be a parent. Do I need to live here? Do I need to do stuff? Like, I have no idea what to do with a kid. I'm the kind of person who's always been like, yeah, sure, put that in your mouth. You'll learn from the experience. And then they've defaulted to what they always do, which is they've had a couple of difficult conversations and then they have had sex. And the sex has forced the baby out. That's not how it works, but it's going to be how it works for just now. And as I suspected, Genesis has not come to the hospital, but it's the same person who delivered Mack. I wonder if she's going to T-pose for us. Yep, what could be cuter than having your child bisected by the legs of the person delivering them, whilst also sort of spinning randomly by your feet? Okay, it's a girl! I've got a name picked out. It is Mithra. For a little while I was trying to decide between a pretty meaningful name and a silly name, and I ended up going for Macaroni, so obviously that's the pretty meaningful one. But Mithra is a Zoroastrian divinity of covenant, light and oath. Basically, yeah, it's the sun god. But there we go, there's little baby Mithra, and we will be taking her home, because you have to, you can't leave them at the hospital. I decided it's finally time, after how many episodes I was saying I was going to have a look at the rules. So we've got all the traits. Aspiration on track, career on track, having only one child, very off track, but I have a plan. We've mastered the charisma skill, so we've done one thing. Leave someone at the altar, I keep forgetting about this one. So I need to think about that, and get married for the first time as an elder. So there's no rules about moving anyone in, so I think when we get home we will ask Genesis to join the household, because that is the beginning of the plan that I have made. Let's have a quick look at Mack. Growing up, you never had a close relationship with your mother and spent the majority of your time alone in your room obsessing over space. You just really love space. You want to go to Sixam. We've given him the loner traits. We need to give him clumsy and ambitious, nerd brain, aspiration. And so the main thing we're focusing on for him is not having any close friends or relationships other than his grandparent until that grandparent dies. Wah wah. I hate marking things by Floor's imminent death, but you gotta do what you gotta do. We're back in Evergreen Harbour and the child has mysteriously teleported into the house where Macaroni is introducing himself to his little sister. He's like, hey, you're a baby. It's weird here, but I'll try and help. Also, could you please call someone and ask for milk, because I don't think either of these adults are going to get it for you. I do want to try and move Genesis in the proper way, but I suspect our friendship isn't high enough to get the ask to move in doodad. So I'm going to try and drive that up a bit by, ignoring the screaming infant in the background and having them do some friendly interactions. But if that's not possible, I am straight up going to cheat and add her in because, this is hard enough already. I've already failed in a sense. And honestly, I really consider the rules to be more like guidelines. The whole point of this is to make you play your game and to play your game in a way that is fun for you. So I am going to be focusing on that and not on, being like, oh, well, I might as well give up and trash all the time I've put into this saving family because we accidentally had a second kid. Mithra is hungry. They're going to take her away already. God, that was quick. But we are going to go feed our kiddo. Yeah, we haven't managed to drive up our relationship with Genesis to the point that I can have her move in organically. So we're going to drag her back down the stairs and we are going to cheat it before we get some cake. Add to family. Thank you very much. Welcome to the family, Genesis. You'll love it here, probably. She's feeling super focused though, and straight over and engaging with her daughter, so that's good at least. Carmine has dispatched her duty, feed the child, and is now just on the cake boat. And as all good things end with cake, so too shall this.
I'm going to dub this episode a series of half-baked decisions because Carmine, me, didn't really think any of this through. So we asked Oriole to date us despite the fact we're about to have a child with Genesis, who we've asked to move in. Meanwhile, Mack is just wreaking chaos. Floor is not really helping. What could possibly go wrong? What more stable of an environment could baby Mithra ever really want? Anyway, I'd love to hear what you think. What do you think of Mithra's name? What do you think of my choices? What do you think's going to happen next? I'm fascinated to see. I'm really looking forward to playing the next section. So if you wouldn't mind just leaving me a little thumbs up, or maybe even subscribing if you want to hang around for more, then that would be nice. And me and my gigantic zip will see you next time. Bye.